The Indian armed forces are not the private property of Narendra Modi. They are not the military wing of any political party, and they are certainly not meant to be used as props in religious ceremonies. That is why the recent aerobatic display by the Indian Air Force over Somnath Temple has raised many uncomfortable questions. Is Narendra Modi saffronizing the Indian armed forces? At Somnath, fighter aircrafts painted the sky in the colors of the national flag. An Air Force helicopter showered flower petals during temple rituals and pujas. All of this happened in the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This was not a Republic Day parade. This was not a military commemoration. This was not a national security exercise. This was a religious event centered around one of Hinduism's most sacred temples. And that is exactly why many veterans are alarmed. According to a detailed report published by The Wire, several retired senior officers have warned that this event blurred three institutions that must remain separate in a constitutional democracy: religion, political authority, and the military. India's armed forces have earned the trust of every citizen because they stand above religious identity. A Hindu soldier, a Muslim soldier, a Christian soldier, a Sikh soldier all wear the same uniform and defend the same constitution and the same country, not one religion. When military jets and helicopters become part of temple ceremonies presided over by the Prime Minister himself, a dangerous message is sent. The message is that state power, religious symbolism, and military prestige are being fused together. And when that religion is the majority religion, the concern becomes even deeper. Would the same display be organized over a major mosque, a church, a gurudwara, a Buddhist shrine? Would fighter jets release tricolor smoke during religious ceremonies of every faith? If the answer is no, then military is no longer appearing equidistant from all religions. It begins to look aligned with one religious identity. That is not nationalism. That is majoritarian symbolism. And it raises a larger question. Is Narendra Modi transforming the India's most respected and secular institutions into a visual expansion of his political and ideological project? For decades, the Indian military maintained a careful distance from overt religious and political messaging. That institutional neutrality is one of the reasons why the armed forces are trusted across caste, religion, and region. Once that neutrality is compromised, rebuilding public confidence becomes difficult. No one is questioning the faith of millions of Hindus. No one is questioning the professionalism of the Indian armed forces. The question is whether the Prime Minister is using the prestige of armed forces to strengthen a particular religious narrative. The military should defend the constitution, not decorate political theatre, not endorse religious spectacle, and not become a symbol of one ideology. Because the day the armed forces are seen as belonging more to one religion than to all Indians equally, India will lose something far more valuable than optics. It will lose one of India's last institutions that still commands trust across every community.